Now, Cody, I think it's pointless doing a review of Street Fighter V this early.
It'll V-trigger a lot of people.
Yeah, but I figured let's give them the 3 reasons why I think it's too early, right? Number 1 is that there is really no single-player content to speak of.
That is a bit of a truth as well. I mean, when it all comes down to it, a lot of people don't play fighting games for the single player component. I know a lot of people are really kind of uppity about how there's very lacks of story modes and things like that. Survival mode is a completely different kettle of fish.
Which is not a normal thing to see. Like I can't remember the last Street Fighter game that had survival in it. The Ultra.
Yeah, but it was very incidental.
Yeah. And so they're planning to release larger expansions of story mode, stuff like that, in June. So if you are coming into it with the expectation that you don't have friends who you play locally with or play online with, then perhaps maybe June's the time to wait for. The other one I would say is that, as we speak, the servers aren't great. So if you've got people you can link up with, it's going to be far better than like relying on random matchmaking.
So when it comes to online gaming as well, for a game to come out for its first few days to have complete, 100% connectivity, who would have thought an online game at this day and age running completely fine? It's just another one of those things. There's so many people jumping on, and after a few days of server maintenance, and as well as people jumping on and kind of jumping out, there's going to be a lot more smoother server infrastructure.
But I mean, at this point, like considering they've had Destiny, Diablo, however many examples, just buy too many servers for once. Just buy an extra 10. You know what I mean? Like, of what you need. And then you can always sell them or, like, turn them off.
Just go Oprah in that arse.
Exactly, And you get a server, and you get a server.
Exactly.
So that's probably the other big consideration. But I think probably the thing that I think stops me the most from wanting to give a definitive opinion on it is that the game is so different from 4. Like, there are so many elements that have come from basically all the other Street Fighter games that they've kind of brought back into this. So
you still have your 6-button layout and everything that's very familiar, especially a lot of the characters have their special attacks and a little bit different. But the character diversity, the move diversity is going to kind of, I guess, take a little while to get used to.
Yes.
As well as some of the V triggers, V skills, V reversals. There's all these different systems that work really well with each other that do need a bit more time in the oven.
And I think that's probably the difference here is that in Street Fighter 4, it was all about learning your focus attack dash cancel. It was all about
B&B's, bread and butter combos.
Absolutely, all that. This neutral game, it is so much more important that you learn the basics of your character and the basics of your spacing, things like that.
There's a lot more emphasis on mind games where you can win or lose a fight depending on how well you read your opponent and play your opponent to your advantage.
Plus, in one of probably the biggest things I've enjoyed about a fighting game, you can't chip people out anymore.
Yes.
So
no shitty people throwing Hadoukens for meaty chip KOs. It's so much better because you have to go in, read your opponent, and really earn that KO.
So, Street Fighter V, it's a great game so far, but these are the things you need to consider before you pick it up. We'll give you some full coverage later on as well, plus I'm sure we'll stream it at some point.
We're going to be playing a crap ton of it, so there's no doubting there.